What is going on, guys? Theodore Dell here again, and it's been a while since I made this type of video. The last video I uploaded was my fan audition for Toku Nation's fan dub of Uchu Sentai 2 Ranger as Power Rangers, but this is not what it's about. This is not that type of video. This is actually going to be the lore of Kamen slash Super Sentai, the next generation, which was actually taken down last September because nobody. I don't even remember what happened to it actually, but the admins were able to find the lore of the group. So I am going to be reading the lore. Let's get started. Commoner slash Super Sentai, the next generation. Lore, the original group. 2014. In a dimension far away, lived legendary heroes known as Commoners. Together, they fought against the evil organization known as Shocker. As time went on, both sides grew until they clashed in an inevitable war. As the war was at a standstill, Shocker decided to wipe out the Riders with a weapon known as the Shocker Bomb. Actually, in the original group, it was actually called the Rider Bomb. A massive bomb that held the power to possibly wipe with that held the power to possibly wipe out time and space. As Shocker initiated the attack, the Riders stopped it, but at the cost of their lives. With a massive explosion, both sides were destroyed, and the powers of both Riders and Shocker were spread over time and space. That's where our story begins. Season 1, The Shocker Rebellion Arc. Lincoln City, 2014. Shocker is law. With their headquarters in the middle of the city, the people lived in fear. Suddenly, a boy named Ted Hodel found a device called the Drive Driver, and became the first rider in this dimension's existence. Kamen Rider Drive. As he fought off the members of Shocker, more riders joined, such as ellipses does say, it's still a work in progress. As time went on, they became friends and fought off Shocker. At the final battle ended, Lincoln City was liberated. Season 2, the Neptune arc. As the Kamen Riders planned their attack on a small Shocker base, it is revealed Gar has given the Riders a new threat to worry about. Gar has teamed up with a mysterious being simply known as Cloak, as they plan for world domination. The Commoners must join forces with Alex Richter, Commoner Otto, Gar's younger brother, and set course for planet Neptune before Cloak can start his evilish plan. Evilish, yes, that's a word. As the riders make their way to Neptune, they hijack Cloak's space station and find out Gar was pretending to join him, all for the sake of making sure no alien was gonna take over their planet. The Neptune arc comes to a close as the commoners return to Earth to celebrate Independence Day, and Gar and Alex reconstruct Cloak's space station to be their home. 2015, the Dark Hero arc. Now, this is the arc I made, which I'm not proud of, but it's okay. It's better than most of Gar's art. Shots fired. I'm not a big fan of him anymore. Anyway, as they returned from their endearing mission, many more lesser yet evil groups formed, and the riders fought for their city yet again. This time, they were met with more allies, such as Jamie, Commoner DZ. Suddenly, during one outing, they were faced with an unknown threat that was invulnerable to their attacks. A childish god-like being named Hikari. Being their leader, Ted decided to fight against the god. However, he became corrupted and turned against his team. With no other choice, the heroes defeated Ted, killing him. Suddenly, a new hero emerged, Klaus Sinclair, Commoner Cape, later referred to as Celestial Cleric Cape. As Hikari fought Dro to take over the universe, Klaus took on the god and sealed him in a pocket dimension. As time went on, the writers took Klaus on as their temporary stand-in for Ted. Season 4, the Astron arc. As time passed, Ted was revived through magic, and Klaus stepped down as leader. As all seemed well, an android named Astron. I'm not going to say it, guys, because there's a running joke between me and Jeff. An android named Astron arrived and sought to destroy the Riders, with his first victim being Jamie. With the ability to replicate Rider powers, Astron put on a fight against the Riders. On the brink of losing, Klaus personally fought him off and sealed him in a void of fire and despair. As the month, as the month, as the months passed by, some riders left as others joined. One such new member was a 17-year-old named Kevin, who became the replacement for Jamie as Commodore DZ. Everything seemed quiet for a while. Crime was at an all-time low thing, and the riders seemed victorious. This was not the case for Thanksgiving of 2015, in which Astron returned from the dimension with the powers of Cape. As the riders were sitting at the table eating the turkey, Shang stated they found a way to revive Jamie and the other riders killed by Astron by using a legendary stone. Suddenly, the TV automatically turned on and showed a smarter, more powerful, and red Astron. As he sat in the governor's chair, he challenged Ted to a fight to the death. If he refused, Ted's parents would be killed. With no other choice, Ted arrived, but arrived too late. Astron slaughtered his parents in front of him. Devastated, Ted mysteriously gained an incredible amount of power and fought Astron. During that time, the riders revived Jamie, who would later become Commoner Prism. However, the ritual could not be completed again due to the stone breaking. As Jamie frantically ran to help Ted, he was surprised to see a defeated Astron being kicked into the sun. With the team back together for the most part, they celebrated. Unfortunately, tragedy struck again. As it turned out, the power Ted mysteriously received was from him being possessed by an Akuma, a demon race fought off by Klaus. The riders tried their best to stop him again, yet it was too late. He was yet again corrupted, and this time killed by Klaus. 2016, Season 5, The Resistance Arc. Things were particularly slow after that point. With Jamie, Isaac, and Casey being appointed the new leaders, they trained the new riders who came across the powers of the commoners, such as Kevin and a new student who Class took on named Seth, Commoner Kiva. They became such wait, they became a sanctuary for riders. However, one man was not happy with this. Detective Connick, a horrific, cruel being who had ties with the now defunct Shocker, placed a bounty on the head of the riders and outlawed them. Effective immediately, riders or anyone seen holding a transformation device were killed on the spot. Unaware of this, the riders casually strolled through the city until one day a being from the future. Wait, what? Okay, through the city until one day, a being from the future of the decayed dimension named Asura came along and warned Kevin about Iconic. Coincidentally, a Ted from a dimension came to do the same. Suddenly, the base of operations, the pit, an enormous mansion, was raided and blown to smithereens. Luckily, everyone escaped with the help of a man named Scott Savage. At first, they stayed at his place, located in the mountains. Yet, mere days, they were attacked and escaped into space, where they found Gar and his new team. After some planning, Klaus took a team of riders to Lincoln and began to search for remaining riders, as well as Comet Space, via a disguise spell. As they searched, Kevin became scared and impatient and escaped the Earth. This decision turned out to be a tragic one, as his parents were killed and he was captured by Connick and experimented on. Enraged by this, the riders decided to take the fight to the base. As they stormed the base, a massive battle took place as Connick's soldiers fought off the riders. As the wounded Klaus, Gar, Ted, and Ellipses ran in, Connick cornered them and presented his own rider, Agent Blackout, Commoner Black. Klaus decided to take down the rider. However, they were equally matched in combat. Kamek revealed to the riders his grand plan and unleashed a barrage of attacks with his own rider suit. Feeling that the riders weren't worth his time, he set the base to self-destruct and flew off to Lincoln. As they noticed the base was self-destructed, Blackout made a run for it, but not before Klaus knocked off his helmet and found out his identity. Once they all escaped, Hughes summoned the Denliner and followed Kamek into the city. As they arrived to fight him, they were outmatched. Suddenly, Scott sacrificed himself to weaken Kamek. Fortunately, it worked, and the riders defeated Kamek and saved the city and themselves. As compensation for what they endured, the government gave the riders a new HQ, Rider Tower. With Klaus leading the team again, the riders found more riders to teach and fought off against Blackout. Season 6, the Tyson Arc. As the riders gained more exposure and approval of the public, a new group of heroes arrived in Lincoln City, the Sentai Ranger. Warriors from the prestigious Super Sentai Academy, located in remote region in Japan, a school where rangers in the past teach new rangers on how to use their powers and become the heroes the world needs. Tensions flared as both teams declared themselves the better heroes. However, one ranger, Logan Gokai Silver, then accused Ted of murdering his brother. Suddenly, war broke out. And also, for those of you who are confused, Ted, there's a running joke in both Heroes Legacy, or now called Heroes of the Tokusatsu, and Kamen / Super Sentai The Next Generation, where Ted, played by me, is constantly killed. But not as much times as Tenkuji Takuru dies. Anyway, suddenly war broke out. As the two sides fought, the archenemy of the Rangers, Lord Charlaz, I do not know how to pronounce that, guys. This Sharkals. It was made. Guess who created that name? No, Gar. Sharkals apparently arrived in Lincoln. Putting their differences aside, they decided to protect the innocents of the city. During the attack, Blackout arrived to strike a deal with Lord Sharkals, claiming that they could team up and take on both factions. However, the deal doesn't go over well as Lord Sharkals blasts Blackout out of the 40th floor window, canceling his suit and revealing him to be the long thought dead Kevin. Before the riders can confront the mechanically altered Kevin, he escapes. With an impressive display of teamwork, Lord Sharkles was defeated. Feeling like they could do great things together, the Rangers decided to stay in Lincoln City, and the Riders renamed Rider HQ. And the Riders renamed Rider HQ to Heroes Tower. Season 7, the Blackout Arc. Now, this is actually one of my favorite ones, guys, because I don't know why. It was written by Jeff, and he did a really great job. So let's do it. I don't. Okay. Yeah. The heroes seemed like an unstoppable force. Two teams of highly trained warriors taking on the forces of evil. However, things were about to change forever as two more clerics entered the city. Victoria, Celestial Cleric Parasol, and Thur, Celestial Cleric Mjolnir, and told the heroes about a threat of a cataclysmic proportions. For a newly born cleric made a deal with the Underlord to release him. Dean stayed quiet for a while as the heroes warmed up the new clerics. Then suddenly, one day, Kevin reappeared and hijacked the TVs in the city. He then explained that he had kidnapped random civilians along with Seth. His proposition: tell Klaus to give up his powers or watch the city suffer. Without hesitation and the cleric's orders, the heroes rushed to save the people. However, it was a trap, with the villains turning out to be Akuma. I think they meant the people. Okay, just a minute, guys. Just a minute, guys. There's actually a swear word, and I need to spam out if it's okay if I say this. So, uno momento. Okay, I wanted to make sure if I could say this. Suddenly, all hell broke loose as the city was overrun with a tumor. Being bol- wait, being wait what? Was overrun. Being who could only be hurt. A being who could only be hurt with a soul metal. As some of the heroes arrived, they were too late. Blackout has killed Seth and revealed himself to be the new cleric Saber. He then showed off his new powers as he casually and effortlessly, I should say, defeated the heroes. He then teleported and left the heroes to clean up the mess. As the threat was too much to handle, the cleric sealed up the Akuma in an alternate dimension. However, they would escape in 48 hours. With no time to lose, they planned and decided a strategy. Klaus would go off and fight Kevin. The heroes would search for info about how to shut off the blackout program inside Kevin's head so they wouldn't have to kill him. While the other clerics fought off the Akuma in the alternate dimension. As Klaus and Kevin battled, the heroes found a way to stop him, neutralize him, and break the chip with a massive electric shock. As they arrived to help Klaus, it was already over. Kevin had been defeated as a white commoner cape stood before them. Suddenly, Kevin took out his saber and stabbed his chest, opening a portal, releasing the contents of the underworld, including the Underlord himself. Now, basically, the Underlord is kind of like Dormammu of the Commoner universe. If the Commoner universe is somehow connected to the Marvel universe, don't ask why I think that. It just works. Okay. Let's see. Thinking he would be rewarded for his sacrifice, Kevin asked for ultimate power. But the Underlord has no more use for him and killed him. However, he forgot to take the saber powers away. The Underlord then went all out to reclaim the world as the heroes fought against the Akuma. Victoria and Thur joined in. As Klaus fought the Underlord, however, none were a match for the Underlord, as Klaus was knocked out of his supreme form and lost his powers permanently. They had lost, no matter what they tried. The Underlord matched their powers a billionfold. With no other option, Thor sacrificed himself to save his new friends. Unfortunately, it was in vain. The Underlord could not be stopped. They had all given up. Suddenly, Kevin awoke and stabbed the Underlord with the saber and sent him back to hell. Oh, wow, that's another one. Kevin was back. However, they lost more than they gained. Now, this is the last part. So, yeah, Season 8, pre-time skip. Things were never truly the same again. Kevin left for solitude. Klaus became mortal and donned the powers of Neo Cape from Night, which actually is played by me, but his originally his name was Seth. He was the Seth before Seth. Since I brought Seth back, I changed Knight's name from Seth to Skylar. So yeah. They were back to basics for the next couple of months. Then one fateful day, the remnants of Shocker returned and fought the heroes on one last time. It truly was the last as it was true it truly was the last as after the fight. The government came in and shut them down. After many complaints, breaking every safety violation in existence, the heroes were no more. On their final day of operation, everyone joined, and even heroes like Kevin and Ellipses, As he was picking up pizzas for the team, Klaus was fatally shot and later died on the floor of Heroes Tower. Suddenly, surrounded by his team, this was truly the end of the Commoner and Super Sentai of the next generation. Now, I might make an update video of this once we get more of the lore, like the post time skip, hopefully like Heroes of the Tokusatsu, stuff like that. So in the meantime, this is Theodore Dell signing out and asking you to like, comment, maybe subscribe. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, I guess. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.